In the beginning of the drama, we see a scene from the past in which we see our male lead, whose name is Xiang Su, who comes to college with his little child, seeing which everyone is shocked and starts talking. Until yesterday, the most famous playboy of the college didn't have a baby. He isn't even married yet, so where did this baby come from today? But Xiang Su ignores all their talk. After this, when Xiang Su comes home, he still takes good care of his baby, and this baby belongs to Xiang Su. Xiang Su, like a good father, takes care of him. In the beginning, he faces some difficulties, but slowly, Xiang Su does everything well. But one day, Xiang Su's baby's health suddenly deteriorates, which makes Xiang Su very worried, and he brings his baby to the hospital crying because this baby was very important to Xiang Su. Now we see the present-day scene where we see our female lead, Mimo, who runs an agency called Brave Wedding, in which she finds life partners for people who are divorced and want to forget everything and start anew. Just then, a lady comes and tells Mimo her story, how my husband cheated on me. First, he married me, then made many promises. We had babies too, but one day he left me and ran away with another girl. Now, I also want to marry someone else, but my new husband should be much richer and more handsome than the previous one. Hearing this, Mimo says, I can understand your problem, but according to me, before finding your next husband, you should focus on yourself, meaning you should build a good body so that you look beautiful and attractive, then I can fix your blind dates with my clients. The lady happily agrees to this, and then she says, I have heard that you are also divorced, so won't you find a next partner for yourself, or have you not found anyone yet? Hearing this, Mimo says, yes, all this is true that I am also divorced, but I am going to marry my present boyfriend very soon, who loves me a lot. Hearing this, the lady starts to smile. Just then, Mimo gets a call from a man named Jasos, seeing which she immediately goes out and starts getting updates on her boyfriend. Then Mimo's spy tells her, ma'am, the day you were waiting for has come today, meaning your boyfriend, Jung, will propose to you for marriage today. For this, he has booked the entire restaurant and has also decorated his room with many red roses. Hearing this, Mimo becomes very happy and then says, don't you worry, I won't let Jung know that I already knew about the surprise. And then she happily comes inside and tells her friend about it, whose name is Kdrama, and she is Mimo's business partner. Mimo says, perhaps my boyfriend Jung is the boy who comes in my dreams, but I am never able to see his face. To this, Kdrama says, you shouldn't get so excited until your boyfriend Jung actually proposes to you for marriage. But Mimo doesn't take her words seriously, and then they both start remembering their memories from when they were very famous. Now we see a scene from the past where they used to be very famous. Like Blackpink, their group's name used to be Angel. Now we see the most stubborn girl of their group, whose name is So-yeon. She used to give orders to everyone, meaning she considered herself the best in her group, because at that time So-yeon had the most fans, and all the drama movies and TV ads were given only to So-yeon. That's why So-yeon was very proud of this fact. So she always used to put down her other members, whose words Mimo and Kdrama used to tolerate, and the other two members of their group, whose names were Aran and Dongmi, who were quite hot-tempered, but still, they used to tolerate So-yeon's words. Just then, So-yeon says, ugh, what could happen? Can anyone be luckier than me? While my other members are so ugly that they look like circus monkeys, which is why all the fan following likes me. Hearing this, the other members also get angry and start saying, how can you say something like that? We also work as hard as you do. Just then, the fight was about to escalate when all of them are called for the performance, which is why everyone quiets down and starts performing, and everyone was performing very well. But then a fight starts between Mimo and So-yeon, meaning So-yeon was not letting Mimo perform at all. And then, as the show ends, So-yeon deliberately stomps on Mimo's foot, which makes Mimo very angry, and she kicks So-yeon hard, making her fall. And then both of them start fighting by pulling each other's hair, which is why the other members try to calm them down. But by then, everyone makes a video and posts it on social media. And then because of this incident, the Angel group is disbanded. Now we see the present-day scene where Dongmi had become a school teacher. Her nature is still quite irritable because she is still single. So Dongmi takes out all her frustration on the children. Now, on the other hand, we see Aran, who runs her own online business and is also a bikini model, which is why she had a huge male fan following, meaning now all four of them are friends even after the group disbanded, except for So-yeon. So, Mimo tells all her friends about the proposal, and then she quickly goes home and gets ready very nicely because she'd been waiting for this for 2 years, for when her boyfriend Jung would propose to her. That's why she gets ready nicely and says, Mimo, don't worry, you can do it. On the other hand, Iran tells Kdrama and Dongmi about her boyfriend. I am going to marry him very soon, who is very rich and also loves me a lot, and he has also convinced my family for marriage by giving them expensive gifts, but I don't know why I am not happy with this relationship. Hearing this, both of them are very surprised. In the next scene, Xiang Su is shown, who has become a pregnant lady and is keeping an eye on a celebrity with his friend, who had come to the hospital for her checkup. By the way, Xiang Su's family was very rich, but because of the baby incident, he now lives alone and now works as a reporter. Well, that celebrity leaves from there, so Xiang Su also follows that celebrity to a restaurant with his friend. After this, Mimo, who was going very happily to meet her boyfriend, and she was also recalling her memories when her boyfriend had given her very expensive jewelry, because Mimo also used to give her boyfriend very expensive things. Just then, Mimo gets a call from her boyfriend, and he asks, "Where are you?" Mimo replies, "I am coming to meet you." Hearing this, he gets very shocked and says, "Why are you coming to the restaurant to meet me without telling me? Go back right now." At this, Mimo says, No, maybe you are angry that I already found out about your surprise, but there's no need to be angry. I am still very happy that you are finally going to propose to me today." Hearing this, Jung says, "No, it's nothing like that." But Mimo was so happy that she hangs up the call without listening to him. Then Jung messages Mimo, "I am breaking up with you." Seeing this, Mimo is shocked and quickly calls Jung. Jung says, "Yes, I am breaking up with you because you are not perfect for me." Mimo says, "Why are you doing this to me? We have been in a relationship for 2 years." But Jung cuts the call by saying, "Sorry." Hearing this, Mimo gets very angry. Now we find out that Jung is having an affair with someone, and she is none other than that same celebrity whom Xiang Su was following. Now, as Jung proposes to that celebrity, Xiang Su clicks their photo, but just then, Xiang Su's friend gets a call from his wife, and he leaves from there. And then Jung starts spending quality time with that celebrity because he had done all this for her. And here we also find out that this celebrity is pregnant and is going to be the mother of Jung's baby. On the other hand, Baekda comes to her son's school with her husband. The principal tells them, "Your son is drawing pictures these days as if he hates his family." Hearing this, both of them become silent. And when they both come out, we find out that Baekda's husband is going to divorce her very soon. But Baekda doesn't want to do this because of her son. In the next scene, Jung was spending a good time with his girlfriend when Mimo arrives there, and picking up the cake, throws it on Jung's face and says, "Who do you think you are? How dare you cheat on me?" Xiang Su quietly starts recording their conversation. Here, as Mimo, after yelling at Jung, looks at his girlfriend. She is none other than the angel group's So-yeon. Seeing this, Mimo is shocked and says, "Oh, so this means you snatched my boyfriend from me. Are you taking revenge on me for that fight from years ago?" But So-yeon says nothing, so Jung, taking So-yeon's side, starts scolding Mimo. Mimo says some emotional lines to Jung. Hearing this, Xiang Su is also surprised. And then Mimo, after hitting Jung one more time, goes directly to the beach from there and, in anger, throws the jewelry given by Jung into the water. And then Mimo remembers that the jewelry is very expensive, so she goes into the water to find that jewelry. But from a distance, Xiang Su was watching all this and thought that maybe Mimo is committing suicide because of the breakup. So he quickly runs to save Mimo and directly goes into the water. But he was in such a hurry that he doesn't know how to swim. So instead of saving Mimo, he himself drowns in the water. Just then, Mimo comes and pulls Xiang Su out by his hair and then gives him CPR, which makes Xiang Su get up immediately and thinks that he saved Mimo's life. So he hugs Mimo and says, "Are you crazy, going to commit suicide for a boy?" Hearing this, Mimo is surprised, thinking, "What is he saying?" So she makes Xiang Su sit in the car and clears all his misunderstanding and says, "First of all, I was not going to die, but I was looking for my jewelry and because of you I couldn't find it, and you didn't save me. Rather, I saved you." Hearing this, Xiang Su is shocked, and then Mimo goes to drop him at his house. Mimo asks Xiang Su, "By the way, how did you know about my breakup?" Xiang Su says, "I am a reporter." Hearing this, Mimo says, "Oh good, am I still so famous that reporters are still following me?" Hearing this, Xiang Su says, "No, it's not like that. I came here not because of you, but while following So-yeon, who is still very famous because she works in Kdramas, not like you, whom nobody even knows anymore." Hearing this, Mimo gets very happy, but still, she controls herself. After this, when Mimo goes to her apartment, they find out that they are neighbors. Their apartments are opposite each other because Mimo had shifted to this apartment a few days ago. So Xiang Su says, "Oh, so you are that girl who came here a few days ago." Mimo says, "Yes, what happened? I am also sad that my neighbor is you, who is following my old team member." Saying this, they both go to their respective apartments. When Xiang Su goes inside, he finds a letter from his son, in which it was written, "Dad, I am going out with my friends. You keep the food ready." Seeing this, Xiang Su starts cooking, but then he remembers that Mimo helped him, so he should also cook for her. So Xiang Su, after preparing the food, goes to Mimo's place. But at first, Mimo refuses, and then later she agrees. So when Xiang Su goes to Mimo's house, he is very surprised to see the condition of her house because everything was scattered here and there. And then Mimo, telling Xiang Su to sit, offers him a beer. But her way of making it was very different because she was shaking the glass with a tissue and then sticking that same tissue on top. And on top, there were already many tissues stuck. Seeing this, Xiang Su is quite shocked. And then when he tastes the beer, its taste was very different, which Xiang Su likes. Now both of them drink a lot and then ask each other's names. So when Mimo tells her name, hearing this, Xiang Su says, "By the way, I know another girl named Mimo who used to study at Olivia's school." Hearing this, Mimo says, "Hey, how did you know about my childhood school?" And then, after thinking a lot, they say to each other, "Oh, so that was you." Now we see a scene from the past where an act of Romeo and Juliet was going on in school, in which Xiang Su and Mimo were playing the roles. Just then, in a scene, Xiang Su had to kiss Mimo, but suddenly Xiang Su's stomach starts hurting, which is why Xiang Su runs away from there without kissing. Seeing this scene, everyone starts laughing and says, maybe Romeo didn't like Juliet, that's why he rejected her and ran away. This makes Mimo very angry. Now, the next day at school too, some girls make fun of Mimo and say, "Your mouth smells. That's why Romeo left from there without kissing you. Or maybe you are very ugly." Hearing this, Mimo feels very insulted and quickly goes to Xiang Su and, in front of everyone, pulls down his pants and says, "Now you know what insult is called." Hearing this, Xiang Su feels very insulted because he had never imagined that Mimo would do something like this in front of the whole school. Now, in the present scene, Xiang Su says, "Oh, so that was you. Do you even know that after that day, I got a pant phobia, meaning I could never roam around in school without a belt?" Hearing this, Mimo says, "Oh, so after that day, I also got a kiss phobia. I also can't kiss people easily." And then Mimo starts crying, remembering her boyfriend, and says, "And still, people are rejecting me." Now, seeing Mimo cry, Xiang Su remembers his same girlfriend whose baby he has. So Xiang Su, in a drunken state, directly kisses Mimo and says, "Don't worry, I will always be with you and will not leave you. Come on, let's do whatever you want." Hearing this, Mimo is shocked, and because she was also in a state of intoxication, both of them get close to each other. After this, when Mimo wakes up the next day, she gets a call from Dongmi, and Dongmi says to Mimo, "Have you gone mad, making me a witness for your court marriage?" Hearing this, Mimo is shocked and says, "Have you gone mad? What are you saying?" Now, on the other hand, as Xiang Su regains consciousness, he turns on his phone, where his friend had sent him a photo. Seeing that photo, Xiang Su calls his best friend and says, "What is this nonsense?" His friend says, "This is not nonsense, this is your wife, meaning you married this girl yesterday by making me a witness." Hearing this, Xiang Su also loses his senses, and over here, Mimo and Xiang Su start shouting together because they both had become husband and wife. Now we see a scene from the past when Mimo and Xiang Su were in a drunken state. They both came to court and started doing court marriage, and also called their friends to be witnesses. And then, after a lot of persuasion, Xiang Su's best friend comes there, whose name is Haijun, and he is surprised to see Mimo, as if he already knows Mimo. And then Haijun, after a lot of persuasion from Xiang Su, gets their marriage done. And then Xiang Su proposes to Mimo in front of everyone. And when Mimo says yes, Xiang Su lifts her and starts spinning. Seeing this, Haijun is quite shocked and then leaves from there. So Xiang Su and Mimo then go to the market, and Mimo does a lot of shopping there. Now in the present scene, Xiang Su goes to Mimo's house, and after arguing a lot, they both go to the court marriage registration in full anger and start shouting at an uncle saying, "How can you get two drunk people married?" Hearing this, that uncle says, "I knew that you two would definitely come here, and it's not our fault. You both made so much noise yesterday, which is why we had to get you married." Hearing this, Xiang Su says, "Now is there any solution to this?" The uncle says, "Yes, there is a way. You can get divorced and separate." Hearing this, Mimo says, "No, now I don't want the tag of a second divorce after one divorce." But then, having no other option, they have to get a divorce. In the next scene, we see Haijun, who comes to the hospital, who is a very famous doctor on whom all the girls crush. Now, as Haijun goes to the counter, a nurse gives him a love letter, who was Haijun's biggest fan, whose name was Jenny, who was a high school girl. Jenny writes in the letter, "Crush Dr. Haijun, I know that you are older than me in age, but love has no age. That's why you wait for me for 1 year, and as soon as I clear school, I will marry you. And don't even think about any other girl besides me." Reading this, Haijun starts laughing because he takes Jenny's words only as a joke. Just then, another doctor comes there whose name is Yoon, and she was a good friend of Haijun. After this, we see Xiang Su and Mimo, who were looking very sad after the divorce. So Xiang Su says, "Why are we sad? We weren't real husband and wife." Mimo says, "Yes, that's right. In fact, we didn't even date each other, but divorce is such a thing that after taking it, a person feels a little sad. And then Xiang Su says bye to Mimo and leaves from there. So Mimo from behind starts looking at Xiang Su with love because they both had been childhood friends, and then Mimo starts looking at that restaurant because her first divorce also happened in this restaurant. In the next scene, Aran goes shopping with her future husband, whose name is Bang, who is the son of a very big businessman, and Bang likes Aran a lot. And after marriage, he was shifting to another house with Aran. That's why he was buying things for the house. But Aran was still not looking happy. That's why she asks Bang, "Are you not nervous?" Bang says, "Yes, I am, but I am also very excited. And don't you worry, I will keep you very happy." Hearing this, Aran doesn't say anything. In the next scene, Mimo is in the lift. But as she is about to get out of the lift, Xiang Su comes from the front, and by colliding with him, Mimo is about to fall. So Xiang Su catches her. And then both of them start looking at each other. Then Mimo quickly steps back, so Xiang Su says, "Are you okay?" Mimo says, "Yes, I am fine," and then says, "Bye," and leaves from there. Just then, on the way, Mimo meets her friend, who also lives alone like Mimo, and she is also divorced. That's why she says to Mimo, "We should take care of our bodies. Only then will we get a good next husband." Saying this, she leaves. Now, on the other hand, Dongmi, after spending a lot of money, goes on a blind date. But there, Dongmi's mood gets spoiled because all old men were sitting there. Seeing this, Dongmi gets very angry and she drinks a lot. After this, Mimo goes to a party with Baekda for her client. And there, seeing a couple, she starts thinking, well, there are some people who are living a peaceful life after their divorce. And then, when Mimo, after taking food, is going towards Baekda, she sees her ex-husband, whose name is Kim Song, who was looking very happy. So Mimo, after gathering a lot of courage, is about to go and meet Kim Song. But just then, he was telling some girl about his fiancée. Hearing this, Mimo is shocked. And then, as Kim Song starts looking at Mimo, Mimo hides before him and gets very sad seeing Kim Song and starts thinking, this means Kim Song left me for this girl. In the next scene, a client comes to meet Mimo. Mimo asks him, "What kind of girl do you want?" When that client explains, hearing this, Mimo remembers her ex-boyfriend's wife, whose figure was just like a model's. That's why Mimo gets angry and says, "After all, why do you all men want a girl who looks like a perfect model?" The client also gets angry and leaves from there. Then Baekda says to Mimo, "You should talk to your ex-husband once, why he divorced you, because until you know the reason for your divorce, your mind will remain disturbed." Hearing this, Mimo gets ready. She goes, and in the next scene, she is sitting in a restaurant waiting for Kim Song. And then after a little while, Kim Song comes there. Now Mimo was meeting her ex-husband after a full 5 years, that's why she talks with a little love, but Kim Song asks, "Why did you call me here? I mean, whatever you have to ask quickly. I have other work too." Hearing this, Mimo directly asks, "Why did you divorce me after all? You never told me the reason properly, which is why I am still disturbed today." Kim Song says, "We both were not perfect for each other, that's why I divorced you." Hearing this, Mimo gets angry and says, "How can you hide the truth like this? You should have thought about all this before marriage, whether I am perfect for you or not." Then Kim Song tells the real reason and says, "I divorced you because you only think about yourself and only believe in those things that you want. Whereas my current fiancé is not like you. She takes great care of me, understands my feelings, and never considers herself bigger than me, whereas she is much richer, and she never made me feel lonely." Hearing this, Mimo becomes quiet and thinks in her heart, "I also loved you a lot, but maybe I couldn't make you feel my love." In the next scene, Aran, on her knees, apologizes to Bang and says, "I don't want to marry you." Hearing this, Bang gets very angry and says, "How can you refuse at the last moment? Now everyone has received our wedding invitations, and I have even booked the marriage hall." Aran says, "You can kill me if you want, but I'm sorry I won't be able to marry you." Bang says, "This means you never loved me at all. That is, whenever I was busy with wedding shopping, you were trying to find out what your true feelings are." Aran repeatedly apologizes to Bang, but Bang says, "I don't know. Nothing can be done now. So now this wedding will happen." In the next scene, all the women in Mimo's building were gathered because Mimo's friend, who lives alone like Mimo, her condition was very serious at that time because while eating, a chicken bone got stuck in her throat, which is why she stopped breathing. But then she quickly calls the rescue team, but she's unable to talk to them. That's why a lady says, if she had a husband today, this would never have happened to her. Hearing this, Mimo gets scared because she also lives alone. That's why Mimo starts thinking, by chance, if I also die like this, then my ex-husband and his wife will make fun of me and will also occupy my apartment. Now, on the other hand, we see Xiang Su's son, whose name is Min Woo, who had grown up quite a bit. And Min Woo was forcing his dad to get married because he didn't want his dad to be single his whole life. And then Min Woo says, "How did you like my teacher? She likes you a lot, that's why you should date her once." Xiang Su refuses because now he doesn't believe in these things at all. And then Xiang Su goes to his room and starts looking at Mimo's childhood photo because Mimo was Xiang Su's childhood crush, and Xiang Su never told anyone about this. That's why after so many years he is very happy to meet Mimo. After this, Mimo was trying to sleep, but she couldn't sleep because she was constantly thinking about her friend, that the same thing could happen to me. Just then, Mimo suddenly has a panic attack, which is why she falls off the bed and, crying, calls the ambulance. And then we see Mimo in the ambulance where a lady doctor was scolding the juniors and says, "At least before bringing the patient, you should have made her wear clothes. Look, it's nighttime. How can you guys do this with a girl?" The juniors say, "We are sorry. We forgot to cover her in a hurry." After this, when Mimo is taken to the hospital, the doctor, Haijun, recognizes Mimo and that she is Xiang Su's wife, and Mimo also recognizes him, that he is the same one who came to the court that day. Then, Haijun checks up on Mimo, and he finds out that Mimo has a back injury. That's why he tries to lift her. And as he lifts Mimo, he is shocked to see her nightie, and Mimo also starts feeling very embarrassed. So Haijun quickly covers Mimo. Then Mimo, making a very cute face, asks Haijun, "Doctor, am I going to die?" Hearing this, Haijun starts laughing and says, "No, people don't die so easily. I mean, you just had a panic attack." Saying this, he puts a device on Mimo and tells her to look towards him. And then he sometimes turns Mimo's face to this side and sometimes to that side. And then he makes her lie down and then makes her sit up. But Mimo was feeling very uncomfortable with all this. So Haijun takes off his coat and puts it on her, whereas before this, he had not treated any patient like this, which Haijun's friend Yoon also notes. And Mimo also notices how kind and handsome Haijun is. And then as Haijun removes the device from Mimo's head, seeing this, Mimo is surprised because this scene was exactly like Mimo's dream, which she had been seeing in her dreams for years. And when Haijun again moves Mimo's head left, right, up, and down, seeing this, Mimo confirms, "This is the boy I see in my dreams every day." In the next scene, Xiang Su was asleep. Just then, Haijun calls him and tells him everything. Hearing this, Xiang Su doesn't understand anything, thinking, "What about my wife?" And then he quickly gets up and starts going to the hospital because he understood that Mimo is in the hospital at this time. And on the other hand, Haijun's friend Yoon was asking him a lot of questions like, "Why did you give her your coat? Because you have never treated anyone like this. Is that girl special to you?" But Haijun doesn't give any answer. After this, Mimo was sitting alone in the hospital, around whom people were with their respective partners. Seeing all this, Mimo realizes that she is truly alone. But just then, Haijun comes there with 2 cans of juice and starts giving one to Mimo. But Mimo non-stop starts staring at Haijun, which makes Haijun say, "Don't you want this?" Mimo quickly takes that juice. So Haijun starts drinking his juice, but Mimo is still non-stop looking at Haijun because she couldn't believe that today she was finally sitting with her dream boy. But Haijun couldn't understand, thinking, "Why is she looking at me when I have also given her juice?" That's why Haijun turns his face to the other side and starts drinking juice. But Mimo is still looking and says, "Today I am feeling something strange just because of you." Haijun says, "What do you mean?" Mimo says, "If I say that I fell in love with you at first sight, meaning I love you one-sidedly, will you believe my words?" Hearing this, Haijun's senses are blown away because, according to him, Mimo was Xiang Su's wife. So Haijun says, "What are you saying? Is your health okay?" Mimo says, "Yes, I am perfectly fine, and whatever I said just now is absolutely true." Before Haijun could say anything, Dong-mi comes there and starts hitting Mimo because her health was bad, and says, "How can you be so careless? Why don't you take proper care of yourself?" And what did the doctor say? "You are not going to die soon, are you?" Just then, Dong-mi, seeing Haijun's name on the coat, says, "Now who is this Haijun's child? I mean, just yesterday you married someone, and today you are roaming around wearing someone else's coat, so take it off. Take it off right now." Mimo refuses her, but Dong-mi doesn't listen to her and quickly takes off her coat. Dong-mi is shocked to see her in a nightie dress and quickly covers her up and tells Haijun, "What are you looking at like that? You have no right to look at anyone like that." And then Dong-mi tells Mimo, "You should have told me all this before. Oh well, forget everything and tell me where you got this nightie from. It looks quite expensive. Did your husband give it to you?" Hearing this, Haijun feels very strange, so he leaves from there. So Mimo gets angry at Dong-mi and leaves from there. Just then, after a little while, Xiang Su comes there, and he finds out that Mimo has already left from there. So Xiang Su goes to Haijun, and both of them start talking. Haijun says, "Mimo, who is your wife? Why didn't she tell you about her panic attack?" Xiang Su clarifies and says, "It's nothing like that. We are not husband and wife. Rather, we got married that day in a drunken state. We didn't even date each other." Hearing this, Haijun is quite shocked and remembers the time Mimo confessed to him and gets very happy. So Xiang Su says, Mimo is a very strange girl who puts herself in trouble, and then on top of that, also puts herself in problems. Haijun says, if it's like that you don't like Mimo, then why did you come to the hospital for her? That too at this late hour. Isn't it that you have started to like her? Xiang Su says, no, it's not like that. I can never like that rude girl. But Haijun understands that Xiang Su is a little bit interested in Mimo. After this, when Xiang Su goes back to his apartment, he starts going to Mimo's house to check on her well-being. But then he thinks, what am I to her? Neither a husband nor a boyfriend. And then he remembers a scene from the past. When Mimo and Xiang Su came back home in a drunken state, after having a romantic conversation, they said, I love you, to each other, and went to their respective homes. Now, in the present scene, Xiang Su remembers all this and starts smiling. In the next scene, Mimo, after ironing Haijun's coat, was getting worried, thinking, how will I tell Haijun that nothing is going on between me and Xiang Su? That's why she goes to talk to Xiang Su about this and asks him, does Haijun know about our relationship? Xiang Su says, yes, I have told him that on that day we both got married in a drunken state, and there is nothing like that between us. Hearing this, Mimo becomes very happy, and out of happiness, she hugs Xiang Su. In the next scene, Iran tells her mom everything, that she doesn't want to get married right now. Hearing this, Aran's mom gets very angry at her and, after scolding her, leaves. A little later, Bang comes there and says to Aran, now I can understand your situation. You are very nervous. That's why you are also scared of the word marriage. But trust me, I will never let you be sad. You just marry me and live with me for 1 year. If you feel that it's still not right, then we both will separate. But please, give me a chance and see. Then Aran doesn't say anything further. After this, Dongmi and Mimo go to a hip-hop Rocky Baba, who tells the future of girls when and what kind of husband they will get, who looked quite strange. But when he tells about Dongmi's difficult situation, Dongmi starts to believe in that Baba, and then she chooses a card. So the Baba just reads the card and says, the true life partner you are going to get in the future will be very handsome, sexy, cute, and hot, and will always take great care of you. Hearing this, Dongmi gets very happy and says, will I really get such a life partner? The Baba says, yes, and if you want to make all this happen quickly, then you will have to give me a lot of money. Just then, despite Mimo's stopping, Dongmi was about to give the money when a girl comes there crying and blames that this Baba is fake. Hearing this, Dongmi quickly takes back the money. In the next scene, Mimo goes to the hospital to meet Haijun. Haijun, seeing her, calls her sister-in-law. Mimo says, why are you calling me that? Didn't Xiang Su tell you the truth? Haijun says, oh yes, he did tell me, but I forgot. Mimo says, do you want me to tell you the truth, that nothing is going on between me and Xiang Su? Whereas you should focus on what I told you that day. Haijun says, it is very easy for a patient to like a doctor because they behave very kindly. But this doesn't mean that you mistake it for love and live in delusion. I mean, whatever you felt that day was just an attraction. Hearing this, Mimo gets close to Haijun and says, looking at my face, do you also think that I said all that to you just like that? I really love you so much. Why don't you believe it? Just then, Haejun tells Mimo the real reason. I like simple relationships which are only between two people. There is no third person in it. I mean, I have a strong hatred for love triangles, but in your case, Xiang Su's involvement seems very strange to me. I mean, you married him once, and this is not a small thing. And this is a marriage, even if it happened by mistake. And now, you have fallen in love with his best friend. That too at first sight. Is it possible in today's world? And it clearly means that first you tried to woo Xiang Su, and now you are after me, whereas there is no special thing between you two that I should be in a love relationship with you. Hearing this, Mimo is very shocked because she had never expected that Haijun would say so much to her. So Mimo, with tears in her eyes, says, I have no intention of wooing you, or Xiang Su. I just told you my feelings, which I felt after seeing you. I mean, at first, I also thought that this is all an attraction, but whenever I see you, my heartbeat gets faster. And I was very nervous before coming inside the hospital, how I would talk to you and how I would confess my love to you again. But now, after the rejection, I am feeling very light, and I don't know why whoever I like rejects me. You said it right, there is nothing special about me, but this is how I am. Saying this, Mimo hands Haijun his coat and leaves. So Haijun was also feeling sad seeing her go. Just then, Yoon comes there and says, what happened between you two that girl was leaving in such tears? Hearing this, Haejun starts feeling even worse. Now, on the other hand, Xiang Su finally had to reveal So-yeon's photo today, but he removes Mimo's name from that article so that Mimo is not defamed. And then he posts the article, seeing which the public is surprised that So-yeon is so happy with her boyfriend. After this, when Mimo was sitting sad, Xiang Su comes to her. Xiang Su comes to her and thinks that Mimo is sad because of the article which he had released because of Mimo's boyfriend. That's why he apologizes to Mimo, but Mimo was not sad because of that. She was sad because of Haijun. and she couldn't even tell Xiang Su this reason. Now Xiang Su wanted to console Mimo, but he stops and starts looking at Mimo very attentively. In the next scene, Dong Mi is sitting in class when her student comes and makes Dong Mi taste a cookie which she had made for her boyfriend. Hearing this, Dong Mi is shocked that she also has a boyfriend, and then she asks her, "Do boys like cookies?" That girl says, "Yes, boys love cookies made by their girlfriend's hands. They go crazy for it." Hearing this, Dong Mi starts practicing making cookies for her future boyfriend from now itself. That's why she goes home and starts looking at the price of an oven, but the prices are very high. That's why Dong Mi thinks, why don't I buy a second-hand oven for practice first? Because if it gets spoiled by my bad cooking, then I won't suffer a huge loss. After this, we see Aaron, who is very shocked because her pregnancy test came back positive. That's why she was standing sad, thinking, I don't want to marry him, but now I am going to be the mother of his child. In the next scene, Haijun goes to a restaurant to meet Xiang Su and says, "A few days ago, I met a girl who is absolutely perfect for me." Xiang Su congratulates him. Haijun says, "And that girl is none other than Mimo." Hearing this, Xiang Su is surprised and says, "What? My Mimo? I mean, the one who used to study with me in school?" Haijun says, "Yes. Do you like Mimo? If yes, then I will not come between you two because I don't like love triangles at all." Hearing this, Xiang Su doesn't say anything but starts thinking something. Haijun says, "This means you have feelings for Mimo in your heart." Xiang Su says, "No, it's not like that at all. She was just my friend in childhood. Nothing more than that." Haijun says, "Okay, if that's the case, then from now on I will date Mimo because I like her." Saying this, Haijun leaves, and Xiang Su becomes sad. On the other hand, Mimo, after attending to her client, calls the next client inside, and he is none other than Haijun. Seeing Haijun, Mimo is shocked and says, "How are you here?" Haijun says, "I came here as a client." Mimo, trembling, brings tea for Haijun because whenever she saw Haijun in front of her, she would get very nervous. Haijun was enjoying seeing all her actions, and then he gives Mimo his profile and says, "I want a girl who has a cute puppy face, is shorter than me in height, and knows how to handle every situation well. I mean, a pure, kind girl." Hearing this, Mimo says, "Oh, so you want a girl who is cute and innocent, as well as intelligent and attractive. Okay, that's your taste, right?" Hearing this, Hae-jun starts looking at Mimo non-stop because all these qualities are in Mimo, but Mimo doesn't understand this. So Hae-jun stands up and says, "I am leaving because I don't think my work will be done here. And get your eyes checked because they are very big, like they are popping out because of which I am not even able to talk properly." Saying this, Hae-jun leaves. Mimo is surprised, wondering, what was this? Did he make fun of me and that too of my eyes? And just then, coming outside, Hae-jun smiles because his objective was to give Mimo his profile so that if Mimo is okay with Hae-jun's likes and dislikes, then he can take the matter forward. On the other hand, Xiang Su goes to dinner with a worker whose name is Ah-in, but Xiang Su's entire attention is on Mimo. But just then, Ah-in confesses her love to Xiang Su. Hearing this, Xiang Su is shocked, and then as they both come out, Xiang Su flatly refuses Ah-in and says, "I'm sorry, but I have no feelings for you in my heart." Ah-in says, "At least give me a chance." Xiang Su refuses and says, "You will find a better boyfriend than me." Hearing this, Ah-in leaves from there crying. So Xiang Su also leaves from there, and when he is driving, he remembers something. Now we see a scene from the past where, in childhood, 3 girls used to hate Mimo. That's why they, to spoil the act, made Xiang Su eat such an apple that Xiang Su's stomach started hurting, and the pain was so intense that Xiang Su couldn't control it. That's why he quickly leaves the act, which caused Mimo a lot of insult, and everyone was calling her an unlucky princess. And while going home, Mimo was very ashamed of her actions because, due to her, Mimo was crying very badly. Xiang Su wanted to console Mimo, but Mimo, seeing Xiang Su, tells him to go and gets very angry and also scolds him. Hearing this, Xiang Su feels very bad because he had broken his childhood crush's heart. After this, Mimo doesn't come to school for many days, so Xiang Su, to appease her, goes to her house. But just then, Xiang Su sees that Mimo has made another friend. Now, in the present scene, he says, "I have lost Mimo once, so I will not let her be someone else's again." And on the other hand, Mimo goes to tell Hae-jun a lot of things. So Hae-jun, seeing Mimo, is happy in his heart. And then he comes to Mimo and asks her the reason for coming here. Mimo says, "Sign up with my company, Brave Wedding, right now, because this is not a way to give your profile and then refuse to sign up, as if our company is bad." But Hae-jun starts teasing Mimo, so Mimo thinks that Hae-jun is making fun of her. That's why she, in full anger, says, "Sign up right now." Hae-jun says, "I can't do that now because I have found a perfect match for myself. Who is you? I mean, I want to date you." Hearing this, Mimo is shocked and says, "Did I hear something wrong? You weren't joking, were you? Because you were the one who said last time that I am not special at all, that you could date me. And on top of that, you also gave the reason of a love triangle." Jun says, "Because now I have confirmed that there is no one between you and me. That's why I want to take this relationship forward." Just then, Xiang Su also comes there, but seeing them both together, he stops right there. Now Mimo is very shocked. That's why she asks Jun to punch her so that she can believe it. But Jun doesn't do that. He directly hugs Mimo and asks, "Now do you believe that I really like you?" Hearing this, Mimo gets very happy that she finally got everything. Now Xiang Su, seeing all this, gets very jealous and leaves from there. And getting into the car, he starts taking out his anger, saying, "Today again, Mimo slipped out of my hands." After this, Mimo asks Jun, "Since when did you start liking me after all?" Jun tells something and says, "This is just a secret." And then remembering his past, he says, "You came into my life with wings." Hearing this, Mimo gets very happy. In the next scene, when Mimo goes in the lift, Xiang Su also comes there. So Mimo says hello to him, but Xiang Su was very angry with her. That's why he goes inside in anger. Mimo says, "Are you going to work?" Xiang Su says, "Mind your own business." Hearing this, Mimo asks, "Why are you so angry today?" Xiang Su again tells Mimo to mind her own business because he was very angry with Mimo. And then Xiang Su says, "Well, why are you so ready today? I mean, so much makeup and a lot of blush." Mimo starts fixing her face and says, "I spent a whole hour to look natural." Xiang Su says, "Now you are getting old, so stop trying to be a schoolgirl." Hearing this, Mimo shouts at Xiang Su in anger. And then both of them come out of the lift in anger. But even then, Mimo, scolding Xiang Su a lot, gets into the car. So Xiang Su also gets into Mimo's car and starts asking for a lift because his car was broken. That's why Mimo has to reluctantly let him sit in the car. And then Mimo starts singing a love song for Jun. Seeing this, Xiang Su feels very jealous. And then finally, Mimo tells Xiang Su about Jun and her love relationship. Hearing this, Xiang Su shouts at Mimo very loudly, which is why Mimo avoids an accident with some people on the road. And then she asks Xiang Su, "Why are you shouting at me after all? Is loving someone a crime?" Xiang Su shouts and says, "Why do you keep changing boys like clothes? I mean, a few days ago you married me, and now you are trapping my best friend. What do you women think of us? A puppet in your hands? Is this some TV show going on that you are doing dramas one by one, wooing boys, marrying them, and then divorcing them? I didn't know you were so fast." Hearing this, Mimo says, "Oh, hello. I am not one of those girls who cheat on boys. My feelings for Jun are completely true. I admit this sounds a bit strange, but I suddenly started liking Jun a lot. That's why I confessed to him. But surprisingly, Jun also likes me a lot." In the next scene, Iran tells Baekda about her pregnancy and says, "Now what should I do?" Baekda says, "Just this test is not enough. You will have to get a blood test and an ultrasound done to confirm properly whether you are pregnant or not." But it was clear from Iran's words that she wants to have an abortion because she doesn't want to become a mom. Baekda says, "Maybe you are very confused in your own self. That's why you are not able to accept reality. And if you think that I will support you in your wrong decisions about abortion, then that is your misunderstanding. It's better that you accept all this." Saying this, Baekda starts to leave. Iran says in anger, "I know pregnancy is difficult for you, but this doesn't mean that it will be a blessing for everyone." Baekda says, "If you make any wrong decision, then maybe we will never be friends again." And then Baekda leaves from there to her son's school, who was very sad because Baekda and her husband always used to fight. After this, Mimo brings groceries and comes back to her apartment. Just then, Minwoo is sitting there. So Mimo asks him, "Who are you and who have you come to meet?" Because Mimo didn't know that he is Xiang Su's son. And then when Minwoo says, "I am Xiang Su's son," hearing this, Mimo is shocked. And then he says, "The door device's battery is dead. That's why I am not able to go inside the house." Hearing this, Mimo gives Minwoo money and says, "Go and get a battery." And then Mimo also helps him get the battery recharged, which impresses Minwoo. So Mimo in conversation starts asking him about his mom. Minwoo avoids the topic. Just then, In comes there, and Mimo recognizes her, saying, "You are the one who interviewed me once." And then both of them say hello and go inside their respective homes. So we find out that Minwoo and In have a very strong bond because Minwoo wants to make In his dad's wife. But In tells him, "Now there is no use because Xiang Su has rejected me." Hearing this, Minwoo gets sad because he also wants a mom. In the next scene, Baekda, Mimo, and Dongmi are sitting together. Mimo and Dongmi show their reports, which were completely clear. But Baekda doesn't show them her report and says, "I have some very important work today." Saying this, Baekda leaves from there and goes directly to the hospital. But just then, she meets Aaron there. Bekda asks Aaron, "Did you get an abortion?" Aaron tells her, "I am not pregnant. Rather, there was some problem in my test kit, which is why the result came back positive." Hearing this, Bekda is surprised. Aaron says, "Now I am thinking of marrying Bang, and now I have understood that I should accept the truth before it's too late. And Bang is a very good person whose heart I broke, whereas all the mistakes were mine. But now I will correct my mistakes." Hearing this, Bekda gets happy and says, "You are doing absolutely right." Saying this, Bekda goes to meet Dr. Yoon, who lives with Haijun. Dr. Yoon, after seeing Bekda's report, says, "You have a very big problem in your breast, to fix which you will have to have an operation. Because if you don't get it fixed, you could also die. And to get it fixed, you will have to lose your breast." Hearing this, Bekda is shocked because having such an operation is very difficult for a girl. Now, on the other hand, Xiang Su had come to a memorial of a girl, and he was also getting very emotional because she is Minwoo's mom. Now we see a scene from the past where Haijun was sitting outside the college reading Xiang Su's letter, in which Xiang Su was telling Haijun about his baby, i.e. Minwoo. Because as soon as Minwoo was born, Haijun had gone out of Korea. But just then, Haijun's same friend comes there who was a big fan of the Angel Group, and he opens a loaf of bread from which a sticker of the Angel Group comes out. But instead of So-yeon's sticker, Mimo's sticker comes out, which he didn't like at all. That's why he throws Mimo's sticker and leaves from there. So Haijun picks up that sticker, because Haijun had become a big fan of Mimo during his college time. Now, in the present scene, Bekda goes to Iran's house, but Mimo was already there, who gives Bekda the outfit for today's party. But Bekda doesn't tell them anything about her disease. Just then, Dongmi also comes there. And here, on the other hand, Xiang Su is with Haijun. So Haijun was telling Xiang Su about his and Mimo's relationship, which Xiang Su already knew. But Xiang Su, hearing this, starts drinking a lot. After this, when Mimo comes back home, she is very shocked to see Xiang Su outside in a drunken state. And then she tries to lift Xiang Su, but Xiang Su was not getting up at all. Rather, he was repeatedly calling Mimo a goldfish, and then both of them get close to each other. Seeing this, Mimo starts to leave, but Xiang Su doesn't let her go. Rather, he holds her face and says, "You always make me feel upset, and no other girl has ever made me feel so upset. There is something different about you that no other girl has." And then, Xiang Su is about to kiss Mimo, but then he faints. So Mimo pushes him away from her and tries to lift him. But just then, Minwoo also comes there and is very surprised to see Mimo sitting like that. And then both of them together lift Xiang Su and bring him home. And then Minwoo gives Mimo juice. Mimo notices that Minwoo is more mature than his age. And then when Mimo sees Seong Su and Minwoo's photos all over the house, she feels very sorry for Minwoo, how Minwoo lives without a mom. Seeing this, Minwoo says, "Please don't look at me with such pitying eyes because, as you can see, I live in a luxurious apartment, so we have no shortage of money at all. That's why I go to a restaurant every day and eat. And as for a mother's love, I don't need it as long as my dad is here. I mean, it's true that I want a mom, but I want her for my dad so that he can always be happy." Hearing this, Mimo becomes quiet. In the next scene, it's finally Iran's wedding day, from which Aran was very happy that her wedding will finally happen, and her friends were also very happy. Now, as they both get married, some of Bang's girlfriends come there, who were wearing black dresses because wearing a black dress at a wedding is not allowed at all, as such a dress is considered bad luck. That's why everyone is surprised to see this. Mimo says to Aaron, "If you say so, I can kick them all out of here." Aaron refuses because she didn't want a scene to be created at the wedding. And then all those girls, one by one, scold Bang and leave, saying how bad Bang is, who has cheated on so many girls. Hearing this, Aaron starts getting very angry. That's why she squeezes Bang's hand in great anger. Now after the wedding, Aaron hits Bang a lot and says, "Why did you marry me after all, when you already had an affair with so many girls?" Bang says, "I did all this so that I could escape my family's pressure and use you as a shield. I mean, now I am married, and now no one will think wrong of me when they see me with other girls. And anyway, you can't leave me before 1 year because I have already made you sign an agreement. That's why don't we both choose each other as a shield? I mean, you date whomever you want, and I will do whatever I want because I am not satisfied with just one girl." Hearing this, Aaron gets very angry, and by then Bekda, Dongmi, and Mimo had also heard all their conversation. After this, Xiang Su is sitting in a restaurant eating. Just then, Mimo also comes there and starts asking a person about her friend. But just then, Mimo's ex-boyfriend also comes there and, pulling Mimo aside, says, "Did you come here to create a scene again today? And because of you, people are asking me a lot of weird questions." Besides this, he says a lot more to Mimo. Just then, Xiang Su also comes there and listens to their conversation. Mimo says to Jung, I didn't come here to see your face. I have no desire to see you. But Jung doesn't listen to her, and, in anger, is about to raise his hand on her and then stops. Mimo says, I can't believe I wasted my 2 years with you. Jung says, if that's the case, then why don't you get out of my and my wife's life? And I also have no desire to see your ugly face. Saying this, Jung starts to leave. So Mimo takes off her sandal and hits Jung on his head and says, wait, I'll show you right now? Just then, a reporter from another magazine also comes there who sees all this and understands that Mimo is Jung's first girlfriend. And here, a fight starts between Jung and Mimo. So Xiang Su comes between them and tells Jung to leave from there so that Mimo doesn't come into the reporter's sight. So Jung leaves, and then the reporter also leaves from there. So Mimo starts getting angry with Xiang Su and says, why did you come in between after all? Why didn't you let me hit him? And who are you to come into my private matter anyway? Xiang Su explains that they are very close, meaning they have kissed each other and have hugged each other, and even got married. And he reminds her that she was his first girl who took off his pants and saw all that, and since that day he has not been able to forget her. Hearing this, Mimo is unable to say anything, and just then, all the people there, hearing their conversation, start laughing loudly. That's why Xiang Su gets embarrassed and leaves from there. So Mimo also leaves. In the next scene, Mimo is getting ready and going on a date. Just then, she meets Xiang Su, and he says, aren't you feeling cold? Mimo says, no, because there is no cold in fashion. Saying this, Mimo leaves and goes to watch a movie with Haijun where, seeing a kiss scene, all the boys kiss their respective girlfriends. But Haijun doesn't do that. He gets close to Mimo but makes an excuse of popcorn and moves away, and in his heart he starts laughing. Now after the movie, they both go to a restaurant for dinner. Now for a few days, they both watch movies outside like this and then have dinner, which is why Mimo started finding all this very boring. After this, Xiang Su gets an invitation card from his Oliva school because he had played the role of Romeo. So Xiang Su thinks, then Mimo must have also got this card. On the other hand, Mimo was very upset that Haijun has not kissed her yet. That's why she gets ready and decides to have a movie date at home. Just then, the doorbell rings. So as Mimo opens the door, Xiang Su is there. Xiang Su, seeing Mimo again in a short dress, says, are you really not feeling cold? Mimo says, Haijun is coming here today, so don't disturb me and leave from here. Xiang Su says, but just listen to me once. But just then, Xiang Su's eyes fall on the wine bottle inside, so he is surprised and says, a girl like you who drinks soju mixed with beer all night, how can she dare to drink wine? Mimo says, now I have my boyfriend to handle me who is just about to arrive. Saying this, she sends Xiang Su away. So Xiang Su starts thinking, Mimo is very drunk, so Haijun might take advantage of her. Just then, Mimo's doorbell rings, so Xiang Su sees that it is Haijun. That's why he goes out and tries to stop Haijun and says, come on, I am making your favorite chicken, so you come to my house. But Haijun doesn't listen to him at all and goes inside Mimo's house where they both watch a movie together and enjoy. And then just as they are about to kiss each other, Xiang Su comes there with fried chicken to come between them. He does that and spoils their date, which makes Mimo very angry. After this, the next day, Mimo was waiting for Haijun. Just then, Haijun messages her, sorry I can't come. I have some important work. Seeing this, Mimo gets very sad. Just then, Jenny comes there and says to Mimo, you are here again? You still haven't stopped following my future husband. Mimo tells her to leave from there because she was very tired. But Jenny sits there and says, it's okay. I can understand how difficult it is to woo Dr. Haejun in the presence of his wife. Hearing this, Mimo says, what? Ex-wife? Jenny says, yes, ex-wife. Look, speak of the devil and the devil is here. So as Mimo looks there, we find out that Dr. Yoon is Haejun's wife. Seeing this, Mimo is shocked. That's why she used to come to meet Yoon every day, but she couldn't ask her why they got divorced. But Dr. Yoon was very intelligent. That's why she tells Mimo, I left Haejun because he didn't care about me. When I asked him to be in a love relationship, he easily agreed. And when I told him to break up, he easily agreed to that too. And I know you are also the first one after me who has confessed her feelings to Haejun, so look, he will never love you enough. Hearing these things, Mimo gets upset. In the next scene, Xiang Su was again taking a picture of a celebrity. Just then, while leaving from there, he hears Mimo's voice, who was doing magic tricks to impress Haejun. But just then, she gets a call from Haejun, and he says, I'm sorry, due to some urgent work, I won't be able to meet you. Hearing this, Mimo gets very sad. Just then, Xiang Su comes there, so Mimo, seeing him, is shocked. And then both of them sit together and start talking. Mimo says, I came here to meet Hae-jun and wanted to show him some magic tricks, but he didn't come. Xiang Su says, show me your magic tricks so I can see if these magic tricks work or not. Just then, Mimo starts showing him magic tricks, and going close to Xiang Su, takes out flowers from different places. Seeing this, Xiang Su is surprised, wondering where all these flowers are coming from behind me. But when Mimo, in the end, changes a fake flower into a real flower, and that too with fire on the flower, she accidentally puts that fire on Mimo's head, which scares Mimo a lot. So Xiang Su quickly throws water and extinguishes the fire. But in all this, Mimo gets a cold. So Xiang Su puts his coat on her and takes her home. But just then, Hae-jun was also going to Mimo's house, and he sees them both together and understands that a third person has entered my love story. That's why Hae-jun gets very angry seeing all this. But Mimo is very happy to see Hae-jun, so Xiang Su quickly lowers his hand. Just then, Hae-jun asks them, how are you two together? Xiang Su says, this is a long story, but first you take Mimo home because she has a cold. So Hae-jun comes to Mimo and, taking off the coat, gives it back to Xiang Su and, putting his own coat on her, takes her home. Now coming home, Hae-jun was more worried about why Mimo was with Xiang Su. That's why he repeatedly asks about that bag, in which the magic trick stuff was. But Hae-jun thinks that Xiang Su himself must have given it to her. That's why he asks Mimo about this bag. Mimo says, is this thing more important to you than me? You are not seeing in what condition I am at this time. Do I need medicine or rest or not? It's really very difficult to get your attention. Just then, Hae-jun becomes quiet because now the situation had become a bit of a fight. That's why he apologizes to Mimo. Mimo says, now I want to rest for a while, so I will talk to you tomorrow. Just then, Hae-jun leaves from there. After this, Mimo's health was still not getting better because she needed medicine. But just then, the doorbell rings. So, as Mimo opens the door, Xiang Su is there giving her medicine. Seeing this, Mimo is impressed with Xiang Su. In the next scene, Baek-da was putting her son to sleep. Just then, she remembers her memory. Now we see a scene from the past when Baek-da was under pressure to have her first baby. But after some years of marriage, she had her first baby. Then she was under pressure from her family to have a second baby, which is why Baek-da started getting very upset. Because like before, even after trying a million times, it was not happening. Baek-da had her first baby also after seeing a lot of difficulties. That's why Baek-da decided to stay away from her husband, Tai. I mean, whenever Tai would come close to Baek-da, Baek-da would make some excuse to stay away from him. Now in the present scene, Baek-da wants to hug Tai for the last time before her operation because maybe after the operation, she will never meet Tai. But Tai flatly refuses to hug Baek-da and says, after so many years, you are remembering me now? Did you think I was an animal that you wanted me to dance to your tunes? Actually, Tai did not know about his wife's illness. That's why Baek-da, saying sorry to Tai, leaves from there and starts crying very badly, and Tai was also in a bad state. In the next scene, Hae-jun calls Mimo to meet him. When Mimo goes to him, Hae-jun first gives her air muffs so that Mimo stops feeling that Hae-jun doesn't care about me. And then he gives Mimo a lot of stickers, which Hae-jun had won by buying 500 loaves of bread. And he tells her, I was your big fan in my college days. Hearing this, Mimo is surprised. Hae-jun says, you won't believe it. I have had this photo of yours for 10 years. And you know, when the Angel group disbanded, I cried a lot because I thought that now I will never be able to see you. But we met again when I saw you in a coat, and then you came to my hospital. Hearing this, Mimo is even more surprised and thinks, this means Hae-jun also really loves me. And then both of them hug each other. Now, as Hae-jun is about to kiss Mimo, Mimo remembers that she hasn't brushed after eating. That's why she quickly kisses Hae-jun on his cheeks and hugs him, and then gets embarrassed that, what did I do? I spoiled my special moment. In the next scene, at Min-woo's request, Mimo goes to his house to show him photos of many girls, but Min-woo doesn't like a single girl for his dad. Then Min-woo has to go for his schoolworking job, so he starts to leave. Mimo asks him, isn't Xiang Su going with you? Min-woo says, no, he has some important work today. So Mimo gets ready to go to his school. When Mimo and Min-woo go to school, all the parents there are surprised to see Mimo asking, is Mimo of the Angel Group really Min-woo's family member? Whereas everyone thought that Min-woo has no one. Just then, Min-woo is very happy. And then Mimo also does all her work just like all the parents. And then when Min-woo and Mimo were spending a good time together, laughing and joking, Xiang Su also comes there. And then these three become a family and work, where everyone was very happy. And then when Mimo was carrying a lot of heavy luggage, Xiang Su from behind kind holds her luggage and helps her. But just then, Xiang Su starts to fall, so Xiang Su holds her. But still, Mimo's foot gets hurt. That's why they all start going home because Xiang Su was very worried about Mimo. That's why when they reach home, Haejun sees them again. Mimo is not able to walk, so Xiang Su lifts her. Seeing this, Haejun gets very angry, and he is about to go and fight with Xiang Su. But just then, he sees Min Woo with them, so he stops. Now, inside the house, Xiang Su and Min Woo are very worried about Mimo and are not even letting her get up. Mimo says, "Why are you two overacting so much after all? I told you I am fine." But Xiang Su doesn't listen to her and applies a hot compress on her. And here, Haejun was still in the parking area. That's why he calls Mimo. Mimo, hearing the sound of the phone, is about to go and pick up the phone. So Xiang Su asks her to sit for some more time. Mimo sits down. Here, when Mimo doesn't pick up the phone, Haejun gets very angry, and he is about to go and talk to them. But just then, he stops and realizes that maybe no one cares about me. On the other hand, Mimo realizes how much Xiang Su cares about me, and he is also very responsible from above. That's why Mimo, putting her hand on Xiang Su's head, says, "Good job. I mean, now you have really become a good person and a great father who, along with completing his studies, also took care of Min Woo, which is not an easy task." Hearing this, Xiang Su gets emotional because he had really faced a lot of difficulties. So Xiang Su, holding Mimo's hand, says, "Please don't touch me because I feel like I should never let you go away from me." Hearing this, Mimo is shocked, wondering what he is saying after all. And just then, Min Woo comes with medicine. So Mimo takes the medicine from him and goes back to her apartment. In the next scene, Xiang Su goes to Haejun and says sorry to him. Haejun says, "If you are sorry, then don't come between me and Mimo." Hearing this, Xiang Su is shocked because he had no idea that Haejun already knows that I like Mimo, but he has also started to like Mimo. That's why Haejun says, "Then why are you sorry?" "Because I am not able to keep myself away from Mimo." Hearing this, Haejun gets very angry. Now we see a scene from the past where Xiang Su and Haejun are in college. Just then, a girl is sitting between them whose name is Nara, who was in their dance club. Just then, Haejun had started to like Nara, and he had also started taking great care of Nara. But Nara's entire focus was on Xiang Su because she used to like him. That's why Nara slowly starts getting close to Xiang Su. And then both of them get into a love relationship within a few days and start dating each other. Seeing all this, Haejun's heart is broken because Nara was his first love. But after some time, a fight starts between Xiang Su and Nara because Nara is pregnant. That's why Nara wants Xiang Su's support. But Xiang Su was so irresponsible at that time that he didn't know how all this happened. That's why he refuses to support Nara, which is why Nara gets very sad. Now, after some months, Nara gives birth to a son, whom Xiang Su was just holding in his hands. But just then, he finds out that after giving birth to the baby, Nara's condition is serious because she has stopped breathing. Seeing all this, Haejun gets worried and quickly takes Nara to another doctor, because at that time, there were only junior doctors in the hospital, and Haejun was also a junior at that time. That's why Haejun, seeing his first love suffering like this, gets very upset, and even after wanting to, can't do anything for her. And just then, Nara's breath stops completely, meaning she dies. And hearing this, Xiang Su cries a lot and says, "I wish I had agreed to support Nara that day, but I couldn't do that." And then Xiang Su hugs Haejun and cries a lot. Now, in the present scene, Xiang Su says, "Yes, now I have also started to like Mimo. That's why if I have to become a bad boy to get Mimo, I will become that too." Hearing this, Haejun says, "You have no right to always do what you want. Mimo is only mine, and I will not let her be yours at any cost. Then whether I have to do anything for it." And what do you think? Mimo will be happy knowing all this, that you are going to bring such a big twist between two couples? So at least think about Mimo's happiness and get out of our lives. Saying this, Haejun leaves. Then Xiang Su realizes that he shouldn't have done this with his friend. I mean, how can I come between them? And just then, Mimo calls Xiang Su, but Xiang Su doesn't pick up her phone. In the next scene at night, Xiang Su is sitting alone. Just then, Mimo comes to meet him to confirm the night's conversation. So Mimo asks him, "Do you like me?" Xiang Su says, No, not at all. I was just joking with you." Just then, Mimo becomes quiet. And then Mimo asks Xiang Su to come to her company for Min Woo. And then she goes to meet Haejun and only starts talking about Xiang Su and says, "What kind of girl should I find for Xiang Su? And what type of girls does your friend Xiang Su like?" Haejun, to shut Mimo's mouth, kisses her and says, "On these lips of yours, I just want to hear my words, not anyone else's." Hearing this, Mimo is shocked because this was their first kiss. But after coming home, Mimo doesn't feel anything at all. I mean, all this felt fake to her. After this, Xiang Su, after coming to Mimo's company, signs up, for which Mimo is very happy. Then, Mimo goes on a date with Hai Jun, but even there she was worried about Xiang Su because today was Xiang Su's first date. That's why Mimo again starts talking about Xiang Su. So Hai Jun gets angry and says, "How stupid are you? I told you last time that only my words should come out of your mouth, no one else's." Hearing this, Mimo says, "Okay, so the last time you kissed me was to shut me up about Xiang Su's talk. I mean, how can you spoil our first kiss moment like this?" Hearing this, Hai Jun starts giving his explanations, but Mimo gets angry and leaves. After this, when Hai Jun comes back to the hospital, Yoon is with him. Just then, something goes into his eye. So Hai Jun starts helping her. Just then, Mimo also realizes her mistake. That's why she comes to apologize to Hai Jun. But just then, she is shocked to see Hai Jun and Yoon so close. So Yoon says to Hai Jun, "If I say that I have started to love you and I want to come back into a relationship with you, what will you say?" Hearing this, Hai Jun becomes quiet, but Mimo hears all this. Just then, Hai Jun's eyes also fall on Mimo. So Yoon leaves from there. So, a fight starts between Mimo and Hai Jun. In the end, Mimo says, "Is there still something between you two?" Just then, Hai Jun says in anger, "Yes, there is. And forget about Yoon. Tell me about yourself. Are you happy with me? Or I think our relationship is not strong. That's why we should think carefully before taking things forward." Saying this, Hai Jun leaves in anger. So Mimo gets very hurt. In the next scene, as Xiang Su comes back home, he sees Mimo outside, who was in a drunken state. So Xiang Su lifts Mimo and asks her about the door password. Mimo gives the wrong password every time, and then she vomits right there. Seeing this, Xiang Su is shocked. Just then, a person comes there who likes cleanliness a lot. That's why he tells Xiang Su to clean the vomit. So Xiang Su first lays Mimo on his bed and then comes back and cleans the vomit. Here, Mimo thinks Xiang Su's house is her own house, so she starts feeling hot. That's why she takes off her clothes. And when Xiang Su comes to the room after taking a bath, he is shocked to see Mimo and then hides Mimo, but Mimo doesn't cover herself in the blanket. The next morning when Mimo gets a call, Mimo picks up her call in her sleep. It was Hai Jun's call, who asks Mimo, "Where are you after all, and why are you not opening the door?" Mimo says, "No, I am at my home." And then she sees that this is Xiang Su's house. And then she quickly comes out and sees Hai Jun from the hall and then calls him and says, "I will not open the door. I am still angry with you and you can't appease me so easily. Go away from here." Hearing this, Hai Jun leaves. And just then, Mimo notices that she is only in a nightie. That's why she shouts loudly. Hearing her voice, Xiang Su and Min Woo also wake up. So Xiang Su comes out and asks Mimo, "What is your problem after all?" But Mimo, in turn, gets angry at Xiang Su and says, "You deliberately brought me here." So Xiang Su clarifies that you yourself came here in a drunken state. So Mimo, saying sorry and thanks to Xiang Su, runs away. In the next scene, all four friends are sitting together, upset. Because Mimo was upset because of Hai Jun, Dongmi was not getting a boyfriend, and A-Ran was upset because of Bang. Just then, Baekda also tells her problem, "I have breast cancer." Hearing this, everyone is shocked. Baekda warns them, "Look, no one will cry because I have already cried a lot." Hearing this, everyone gets emotional because Baekda's sorrow was greater than all of theirs. And then all four of them meet Baekda before her surgery, watch their old videos, and enjoy a lot so that Baekda can feel a little better before the operation. And then the next day, Mimo goes to pick up Baekda's son from school and says, "From now on, I will come to pick you up from school because your mom has gone on vacation." But Baekda's son, Yong, does not agree and says, "I know mom and dad are getting a divorce just because of me. That's why maybe no one wants to see my face." Just then, Mimo finds all of Yong's misunderstanding wrong. That's why she tells Yong everything. And then Mimo takes him to Baekda. So Yong, seeing his mom, starts crying and hugs her, and also says sorry to his mom for his bad behavior. And on the other hand, as Tai comes back from his business trip, he sees the whole house empty and thinks that Baekda has left. And after signing the divorce papers, they are now divorced. But just then, he sees Yong crying. So he asks him, "Why are you crying?" Yong tells his dad about Baekda's entire condition. Hearing this, Tai is shocked and goes to his room and gets very sad, and, crying, remembers all of Baekda's conversations. After this, Baekda is going to the operation room for her surgery. That's why she hugs her son tightly and then goes inside, and the surgery starts, where outside her friends were waiting for her. And then, after the surgery, all the friends come to see Baekda. On the other hand, Tai asks Dr. Yoon about Baekda. Dr. Yoon says, "The surgery went well, but the real test will start now because you know what a breast means to a girl. That's why even a 1% rude attitude from you will affect her. I mean, she will now feel very down." at which time she will need your support a lot. Hearing this, Tai becomes quiet and leaves from there and quietly starts looking at Baekda. In the next scene, Mimo goes to Olivia's school with Xiang Su, where they all enjoy a lot. But then they are told that it is going to snow heavily at night, which is why Mimo was very upset about how she will go home. But over there, Haijun was more upset than Mimo, because it was being told on the news that all the roads have been closed. And when Haijun finds out that Mimo is with Xiang Su, he gets even more upset. And just then, the school people give Mimo and Xiang Su a room to stay. But Mimo was angry, asking, "How will we both stay in one room?" And then Mimo starts taking a round of the whole school, how much the school has changed. And as she goes to the science room, the light goes out. So Mimo starts shouting loudly, whose voice Xiang Su hears, and starts looking for her. Just then, he finally finds Mimo, who had fainted in fear of a skeleton. So Xiang Su takes her to the room and calls the city doctor. The doctor says, "There is nothing to worry about. She just fainted from shock." Saying this, the doctor leaves. So Xiang Su sits next to Mimo and starts telling her his heart's desires, because he couldn't do all this in front of Mimo. So he tells Mimo, "I have liked you a lot since childhood, and our Romeo and Juliet act was spoiled that day because someone had fed me a bad apple, which is why I ran away. But now, after so many years, seeing you, my heartbeat has become fast again. I mean, I like you, but now nothing can happen because you are my friend Haijun's girlfriend, which hurts me a lot." Saying this, Xiang Su leaves. Now as Xiang Su leaves, Mimo opens her eyes because she had regained consciousness a long time ago. That's why she had heard all of Xiang Su's words. In the next scene, when Mimo goes home, she sees only Xiang Su everywhere. That's why she puts Haijun's photo everywhere, so that only Haijun stays in her mind. Just then, Haijun calls Mimo and calls her to his house. When Mimo goes there, Haijun had a fever. That's why Mimo makes soup for him. Just then, Mimo's hand gets cut, so Mimo puts a bandage on it. And then as she prepares the soup and gives it to Haijun, her bandage was visible, but Haijun does not notice it. And then he thanks Mimo for coming at this late hour. And then Mimo leaves. Now the next morning, when Mimo comes outside Haijun's house, Haijun calls her and says, "My health was fine now. That's why I came back to the hospital. And maybe this all happened because of your soup because it was very tasty." Mimo says, "I brought some things for you." Haijun tells her his house password. Actually, Mimo had brought more food for Haijun so that he wouldn't have to cook for a few days. But just then, Mimo sees that his made soup is lying in the sink. Seeing this, Mimo gets very sad and goes back home where Xiang Su was already standing near the lift. When they both go in the lift, Xiang Su at first sight notices the cut on Mimo's hand and tells Mimo to take care of herself. Hearing this, Mimo gets emotional that Xiang Su finally cares about me. But Xiang Su, while leaving, tells Mimo to wear comfortable shoes because Mimo was wearing high heels, which was making it difficult for her to walk. In the next scene, Aran takes Dong Mi to a club with her. So Dong Mi was feeling good coming there, but no one was noticing her, and everyone was pushing her. So Aran tells her, "Don't you worry, I will now draw all the boys' attention towards you." And then Aran gets on stage and starts dancing and gestures for Dong Mi to come on stage. But Dong Mi starts to leave from there. Just then, she suddenly starts to fall, and a person comes and catches her, who was the hero of Dong Mi's dreams, whose name is Tayo. Dong Mi starts looking at him, and all this seemed like a dream to her, that how this handsome face is in front of me. But just then, a push comes and hits Dong Mi on her head. Seeing this, Tayo starts laughing and then takes her outside and brings medicine. And he says, "Thank God the store was open at this time." Dong Mi starts applying medicine by herself, but Tayo doesn't let her do that, and applies medicine with his own hands and says, "Don't you worry, your pretty face will be fine very soon." Hearing this, Dong Mi starts staring at Tayo. On the other hand, it is revealed that Young's ex-girlfriend is none other than Mimo. And because of Mimo, So Yeon had a miscarriage. Seeing this, Xiang Su is shocked that now Mimo's life is in danger. That's why he calls Mimo and asks for her location. Mimo says, "I came to the hospital to meet my friend." Just then, the call gets cut, and they also read that article. But still, Mimo comes down and says, "When I have not done anything wrong, then why should I bow down?" So Aran and Dong Mi explain to her, please agree. It will not be right to go out." But Mimo does not listen to them and is about to go out when Xiang Su comes and stops her. So Xiang Su takes Mimo aside and says, "Please don't go out now. It's very dangerous outside." But Mimo does not agree and, on the contrary, starts getting angry at Xiang Su. "Stay away from me, lest Haijun misunderstands something." So Xiang Su goes out. Just then, some people were talking there. "We saw Mimo going to the parking area. Let's go there and teach her a lesson." And on the other hand, Mimo was indeed in the parking area. Just then, So Yeon's other fans also come there and are about to attack Mimo when Seong Su comes and covers Mimo. So they all start scolding Mimo a lot. Just then, a person picks up a stone and throws it, which hits Xiang Su directly on his face, and bleeding starts. Seeing this, Mimo gets scared. But Xiang Su again hides her, and then with great difficulty, he brings Mimo home and takes out the TV wires and also switches off Mimo's phone and tells her to rest, and himself leaves from there and goes directly to his boss and starts arguing with them. So everyone there is shocked to see Xiang Su's anger. Here, Haejun comes to meet Mimo and hugs her. Mimo was in shock because of all this. That's why Haejun takes her out. On the other hand, Xiang Su starts writing another article on Mimo's story, how Mimo was framed with various allegations. After this, Mimo's company also faces some allegations, which makes Mimo very upset, and she remembers the time when their group was disbanded. Then So Yeon's fans had sent Mimo a lot of abusive letters. Thinking all this, Mimo has a panic attack. On the other hand, Xiang Su was worried about Mimo. That's why he goes to Mimo's house, but no one opens the door there. So Xiang Su, with the help of the watchman, gets the door opened and, seeing Mimo unconscious, immediately takes her to the hospital because Mimo's condition was very serious. When Haejun sees all this, instead of worrying about Mimo, he starts fighting with Xiang Su. "What are you doing with Mimo?" And then he tells Xiang Su to leave. But Xiang Su does not go because he was very worried about Mimo. That's why he says, "When Mimo's condition gets better, then I will leave." Just then, Haejun, seeing Mimo's condition, quiets down. And then, after the doctor's checkup, Xiang Su sits with Mimo for a long time. And then Xiang Su tells Haejun to take care of Mimo and leaves from there because now Mimo's condition was out of danger. On the other hand, Xiang Su's friend also gets that article revealed, in which it was written that Mimo did not come as a love triangle in between, but So Yeon came in between and snatched her boyfriend. I mean, Young was first dating Mimo, and now Mimo is in the hospital because of the attack by So Yeon's fans. Reading this article, all the people start supporting Mimo. Seeing all this, Mimo gets some relaxation. In the next scene, Dongmi happily goes to meet Tayo. Now both of them go to each other, but Dongmi doesn't understand what she should say. But Tayo, putting his hand on Dongmi's shoulder, asks her to have lunch with him, to which Dongmi agrees. Now after this, Tae gives his son a flower and says, "Tell your mom that she is very beautiful, but don't tell her that I sent this." So Young goes and gives that flower to Baekda. Seeing this, Baekda gets very happy. Just then, Tai also gets very happy seeing Baekda happy. After this, Baekda is discharged from the hospital. So Mimo, Dongmi, and Iran bring her back home from the hospital. But they ask Baekda to go inside alone and themselves take Yang with them to eat. Now as Baekda goes inside the house, she is shocked because the whole house was decorated with Baekda's favorite flower, i.e. red roses, where a letter was also kept in which it was written, "You are still very beautiful to me today." Reading this, Baekda gets emotional and starts crying badly because she had never thought that Tai would accept her in such a condition. Just then, Tae also comes there and, hugging Baekda, starts consoling her, with which finally everything becomes fine between them two. In the next scene, Haejun calls Mimo to meet him at a restaurant. When Mimo goes there, Haejun gives her a bouquet and then, giving her a box, asks her to open it. But Mimo was scared because she was afraid that Haejun might propose to her for marriage. And then Mimo directly starts crying. So Haejun asks her, "Why are you crying? It seems you are too surprised." Just then, Mimo gathers courage and says, "Sorry, I can't accept this. I know that I started our love relationship, but I am truly sorry for this because I won't be able to accept it." Hearing this, Haejun's heart is broken. Before this, Mimo says that she likes Xiang Su, but Haejun doesn't let her say anything. Rather, he tells her to be quiet and then gets angry and leaves, leaving the ring box right there. After he leaves, Mimo starts crying even more and, after drinking a lot, starts going home. Just then, on the way, a man comes and starts harassing Mimo. But just then, Xiang Su comes and saves Mimo. So Mimo gets angry at Xiang Su and says, "Why do you interfere in my every matter? What is your problem? And you know, today, because of you, I have broken someone special's heart. I wish you had not come between us, then no one would have been hurt. Please go away from here." Hearing this, Xiang Su gets very sad, and the next day, he gives his resignation letter and decides to go to Korea. In next scene, Mimo goes to the hospital to meet Haejun and says, "I am a horrible person. When I saw you for the first time, I thought that you are my dream boy. That's why I fell in one-sided love with you. And when you started to love me, then I left you. That's why maybe there is no worse person than me. But according to me, if I have feelings for someone else in my heart, then it is not right for me to date someone else. This will be cheating." And then she, giving the ring to Haejun, says, "If you want, you can take out your anger on me and can also abuse me." Hearing this, Haejun says, "But how? How can I abuse you? I know that now I am not in your heart, but you will always be a wonderful person for me, not horrible. Because of you, I was able to laugh and understand myself, and I am very hurt by your decision, but I have no other option but to forget you. So today, we talking for the last time. Hearing this, Mimo starts crying and leaves from there. In the next scene, Bang goes to appease Aran because he had deliberately made a girlfriend so that Aran would realize his love. And then Bang shows her photo, that I will always be with you, whether you become an old woman or not. I will support you in every situation and will never leave you. And you please, come home with me. Hearing this, Aran gets emotional and gets ready to go with him. I mean, finally everything becomes fine between them too. After this, Mimo finds out that Xiang Su has left from there. Hearing this, Mimo quickly goes to Xiang Su's house and starts looking for Xiang Su everywhere, but she doesn't find Xiang Su. So she gets tired and starts crying. And in this way, some days pass, but Mimo was still waiting for Xiang Su. And then she writes a lot of things for him on Xiang Su's door and sticks them. In the next scene, Mimo quickly starts going to her company. But as the lift opens, Mimo is shocked because there was no one else but Xiang Su there because Xiang Su had come back. But Mimo couldn't believe this. That's why she starts to fall. So Xiang Su catches her and says, "Are you okay?" Mimo says, "Yes. Did you really come here?" Xiang Su talks to her normally and leaves because he had also missed Mimo a lot. Just then, we find out that Haijun had called Xiang Su here because he had seen Mimo crying for Xiang Su. That's why he had told Xiang Su about her entire condition. So now Xiang Su meets Haijun, where both of them fight a lot. But in Haijun's heart, there was still a lot of friendly love for Xiang Su. That's why they both sit and start talking. In the next scene, Xiang Su, after freshening up, is sitting below his building. Just then, Mimo comes there and says, "Why did you leave me and go after all? You know how upset I was for you." But Xiang Su does not give her any answer. Mimo says, "I was in my senses that day when you confessed your love to me. And when did you start liking me? Then why didn't you tell me? Were you having fun trapping me in a love triangle?" And then Mimo directly says, "I love you," to Xiang Su. Hearing this, Xiang Su also directly kisses her. And then both of them look at each other with love and happily come back home. Then Xiang Su again starts to kiss Mimo. But just then, Min Woo comes there. So Mimo pushes Xiang Su aside. Min Woo says hello to Mimo and leaves. Then Xiang Su again kisses Mimo on her forehead. After this, Tayo goes to Dongmi's school to meet her. When all the teachers see Tayo, they are shocked. How did Dongmi get such a handsome boy? But just then, Tayo shouts loudly and says, "I really love you, and I have never seen a girl as beautiful as you in my life." Saying this, he directly kisses Dongmi. Seeing this, everyone is shocked, but Dongmi is very happy. In the next scene, Yoon shows Haejun a ring which a person had given her who wanted to date Yoon. That's why Yoon asks Haejun, "Now what should I do?" Haejun doesn't say anything. Then Yoon shows Haejun a hair clip which Haejun himself had given her during college time. Haejun says, "You still have this?" Yoon says, "Yes, because this was the first gift you gave me, which is not as expensive as this ring, but taking this from you, my heartbeat had become fast." Hearing these things, Haejun understands that Yoon is still waiting for me somewhere or the other. That's why Haejun refuses to date her and says, "Just give me some time so that we can make a new start for both of us." Hearing this, Yoon gets very happy and then sits and starts remembering old things. After this, we see a scene after a full 1 month where Baekda and Tai are getting married again because last time they had got divorced. And as they both get married, Dongmi, Mimo, and Aran are very happy. And then Dongmi says to Mimo, "When will your number come?" Hearing this, Mimo looks at Xiang Su, who was clicking Mimo's photo, and both of them look at each other and smile. Just then, it's time to throw the bouquet. So a girl is standing there, but just then, Xiang Su comes in between and catches that bouquet so that he can give it to Mimo. As he sits and is about to give the bouquet to Mimo, Mimo makes him stand up and, taking out a ring from her bag, herself starts proposing to Xiang Su for marriage. Seeing this, everyone is surprised, and especially Xiang Su. And then Xiang Su accepts Mimo's proposal. And then he lifts Mimo and